Tonight's program contains graphic imagery and descriptions of violence. Viewer discretion is advised.
Frontline is made possible by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you. With major funding from the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation, helping to build a more just world. And additional funding from the Park Foundation, committed to raising public awareness.
Tonight on Frontline,
the Janjaweed sweep in, killing all the men, raping women.
The tragedy in Darfur.
We have many reports of babies being killed. The brutal barbarism is almost beyond description.
For years, despite bold declarations,
genocide has been committed in Darfur.
The world's great powers failed to stop the killing.
The UN, as a means of preventing genocide, cannot do the job.
Darfur just isn't important enough to anybody.
But some said, never again.
There is a movement in the United States that is unprecedented historically.
There are things we all can and must do to stop it.
Never again, we once promised. Yet it is happening again as the world stands by.
Tonight, what happened to Darfur on our watch? It is an unforgiving landscape, now pockmarked with refugee camps. And still they come. Victims of what has been called the first genocide of the 21st century. They wait under a straw shelter or a sparse tree to see if there is room at the camp. The wait can be 3 weeks. This woman is from the Darfur region of Sudan. She has crossed into neighboring Chad in search of safety.
20 men on horses. They come with their guns and they attack the village and they start killing people randomly. And they took all the cows, the sheep and the goats. And they killed many people. How many? 10 people died, including her husband.
The world has been hearing her story for 4 years now, and hearing the devastating numbers. The most conservative estimate reads 200,000 dead, 2.5 million forced from their homes, too many rapes to be counted. And the world's response? One writer has said, if the United Nations could die of shame, it would have been dead years ago.
The 4,988th meeting of the Security Council is called to order.
This is the paper trail of the world's failure. Hundreds of memos, investigations, and reports.
The 5,170...
21 Security Council resolutions calling for action.
The international community said that it should happen never again.
The world had promised over and over, never again. But when Darfur came, those promises proved empty.
The voting is as follows. The draft resolution received 15...
People of Darfur feel that they've been abandoned. Where is the international community? Can it be that they don't know? And if they do know, why aren't they here? Why aren't we being protected?
If anyone has turned the promise of never again into a relentless tapping at the world's conscience, it is Eric Reeves, an English professor at Smith College in Massachusetts.
It's almost impossible for me to describe the scale of the international failure. and how dismaying it is, and how obvious it is we've learned nothing.
For nearly a decade, Reeves has obsessively tracked atrocities in Sudan, publishing his detailed analysis of the growing tragedy on his website, sudanreeves.org. He has used that knowledge to pressure governments and the international community to act.
Never thought I'd have this much influence, and it feels like a real burden. I've looked out my office window at times, and it's been a beautiful day. I know I'm going to be there for another 10 hours. And there are only so many beautiful sunny days you get in your life.
Eric Reeves has leukemia. He has gone part-time with his teaching and remortgaged his home to pursue his cause. And he has been one of the most influential voices in a growing private army of Darfur activists, sounding the alarm about unspeakable assaults on a far-off continent.
Typically they begin very early in the morning, before people are awake. Often an Antonov, a cargo plane that's been retrofitted as a bomber, flying at high altitudes, will push out without any bombing coordination crude barrel bombs designed to terrorize and kill civilians. As the civilians flee from their huts, the Janjaweed will sweep in, killing all the men, raping women. We have many reports of babies, male babies, being killed, sometimes having their penises sliced off so that they would bleed to death in their mother's arms. The savagery, the brutal barbarism, it is almost beyond description.